there was what Caitlin Clark did on her big day. She was surprised by the Fever organization after a workout with a birthday serenade and the like, but it was the video that they shared of her workout that blew up everywhere, and that's because Caitlin Clark was knocking down threes. 50 of 54, according to the team on the post.
Did you see what Caitlin Clark just pulled off? On her birthday, she didn't just work on her three-pointers, she completely redefined what's possible, hitting 50 out of 54 attempts. That's a jaw-dropping 93% accuracy from beyond the arc. It's not just a fluke. Clark is the real deal. After a standout rookie season averaging 19 points and 9 assists, she's now ready to take over the WNBA. Stick with us as we explore why this could be the most dominant point guard season we've ever seen.
Sure, look, either way, Caitlin Clark's going to be better than last year. Touch wood, barring injury, it's likely we see the greatest ever season for a point guard in WNBA history next season.
Remember when people were doubting Caitlin Clark last season? Well, what followed is nothing short of incredible. Let's take a look back at her rookie year in the WNBA. The expectations were sky high, the pressure was immense, and things didn't go exactly as everyone had anticipated. But here's where it gets interesting. Clark's shooting percentages didn't quite match the jaw-dropping numbers we saw during her college career.
One aspect of Clark's game that I wouldn't say was bad, but her percentage at three wasn't as high as it was the year prior at Iowa. Now, that a lot of that can be from going from one season to the next, obviously adjusting to the WNBA defenses.
This is the same player who made three-pointers look effortless at Iowa. So, you might be wondering, does this spell the end of Caitlin Clark's reputation as a sharpshooter? Not so fast. Her rookie season ended up being quite a roller coaster. In the first 10 games, she struggled to find her rhythm. Her assist-to-turnover ratio hovered near 1-to-1, and her shooting percentages were all over the place, even dipping below 30% at times. It was a tough stretch, especially for fans who knew the immense potential she had.
We do forget that Caitlin Clark's numbers last season, she didn't have the greatest first 10 games. She wasn't bad in the first 10 games, but she had a near 1-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Her percentages were all over the place.
But here's the thing about Caitlin Clark. She's not one to back down from a challenge. Despite a shaky start, she still managed to average 19 points and nearly 9 assists per game. Pretty impressive for a rookie, right? But Clark wasn't satisfied with just that. She knew she had more to prove. Now, fast forward to her latest practice session, and you'll want to brace yourself for this. Clark nailed 50 out of 54 three-pointers. No, that's not a typo. We're talking an astonishing 93% accuracy. Can you even imagine making 50 out of 54 threes? That's not just good, it's absolutely extraordinary.
It is silly how good of a shooter Caitlin Clark is. But to be fair, obviously, I think there are more players in the WNBA that can do this in a workout. I don't think this is, unique. Not that it's, 50-54 is crazy. That's 93% through 50, which is madness. That's a serious number. That is a serious number, and I'm not sure how long it would take any shooter in the WNBA to do that. But the fact that they're
So, now you're probably wondering how she made such a huge leap. Let's break it down. Caitlin Clark has been putting in the work. No surprise there. Her development coach recently shared some behind-the-scenes insights. They've been focused on refining her pace and fine-tuning her shooting mechanics. It's all about polishing that already remarkable skill set. And here's the kicker. Clark's shooting coach isn't settling for just good. They're aiming for greatness. The goal is an 80% shooting average from beyond the arc during practice sessions. A massive improvement from her rookie numbers. It's almost as if Clark took those early challenges to heart and used them as fuel to push her game to new heights. See a like 6. You might be thinking, all right, Clark's dominating in practice, but can she bring that same intensity to the court when the game is on the line? Well, let's break down why her jaw-dropping 93% accuracy in practice isn't just impressive. It's a sign that something much bigger is coming. First, let's talk about what it takes to be an elite shooter in basketball. Most pros would be ecstatic to hit 80% of their shots in practice, but Clark, She just obliterated that benchmark like it was nothing. This isn't just another solid day at the gym. This is next level performance.
On her birthday, she steps in and she goes and shoots 93% from 3 in a workout. It is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I was like,
so, what's really happening when Clark is draining those threes? It's all about muscle memory, focus, and consistency. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. Clark isn't just practicing. She's essentially rewiring her brain for basketball. Every shot she takes is like a mini lesson for both her body and mind. The more she repeats it, the more her muscles memorize the movement, turning it into instinct. This level of dedication is what sets her apart, pushing her to a whole new level of performance.
And obviously, look, Caitlin Clark's one of the best shooters in the world of basketball. But like, it's silly. Like, for regular people, this is like absolutely absurd.
Now, you might be wondering, does this actually translate to real games? That's the million-dollar question, right? Well, here's the thing. Experts believe Clark's ability to shoot at such a high percentage in practice will definitely carry over to her game performance. It's not just about making shots in an empty gym. It's about building muscle memory so strong that...
And now I'm just looking at Caitlin Clark shooting 93% on a higher amount of shots. That is ludicrous. Like, that is absolutely ludicrous. And just a random workout. Like, I can guarantee you she's probably had workouts better than that.
When the pressure's on, her body instinctively knows exactly what to do. That's the kind of preparation that separates the good from the great.
And look, she's repeating that same motion every time. It looks exactly the same every time. There's no difference in any of these shots, right? It would look like you were seeing a replay. You're watching. And that's the most important thing with shooting. It's not about whether it goes in or not. It's about whether you are approaching it the same every time. You say let it fly, right? Like, you can miss 1,000 shots in a row. You got to shoot the next one when you're open. That's part of being a shooter.
But let's be real for a second. We all know practice is one thing, and game day is a whole different beast. So, can Clark actually bring that insane accuracy to the court when it counts? That's where it gets even more exciting. It's not just about how many shots she's making in practice. It's about how she's making them. Have you seen Clark's shooting form? It's like watching a machine in motion. Every single shot is the same flawless repetition. That's critical for developing muscle memory. And guess what? That's exactly what you need to stay composed and sink those clutch shots when the game is on the line.
The workout from Caitlin Clark. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, she does a lot more than shoot threes, but yeah, she also does that pretty well.
But let's be real for a second. We all know practice is one thing, and game day is a whole different beast. So, can Clark actually bring that insane accuracy to the court when it counts? That's where it gets even more exciting. It's not just about how many shots she's making in practice. It's about how she's making them. Have you seen Clark's shooting form? It's like watching a machine in motion. Every single shot is the same flawless repetition. That's critical for developing muscle memory. And guess what? That's exactly what you need to stay composed and sink those clutch shots when the game is on the line.
But it looks like her form is crisp and refined. And I think when you take into combination the fact that Clark is going to have fresh legs before next season because she hasn't had that extended period of time off from basketball. I mean, who knows when the last time she did? Obviously, she had none this past year in her rookie year in the WNBA. So the fresh legs will be a factor.
Let's talk about what truly makes a great point guard in the league. It's not just about putting the ball in the basket, right? It's about controlling the game, setting up your teammates, and making everyone around you better. And guess what? That's exactly what Clark has been doing since her rookie season. She wasn't just lighting up the scoreboard. She was dishing out assists like it was second nature. We're talking 19 points and 9 assists per game as a rookie. Can you even wrap your head around that? Most players spend years working up to those kinds of numbers, but Clark is putting them up from day one.
The fact is that she's there. Like, in college, it was, I'm going for 70% shooting from 3. Like, that's kind of the workouts. That's the number she's looking to hit. And she's probably up that to 80 is deep. I'd say 80% is probably her average 3-point shooting workout, which is crazy. Like, the Caitlin Clark that's going to come in next year. Like, you can see, just look at her right arm. Just look at her right arm compared to last year. Like, she's obviously still skinny, but like, there's literally Caitlin Clark, obviously Amber Cox is there, someone else is there giving her a birthday cake, but like how many, it's like our coaches in front office,